Surely in ancient times there was an awareness of exponents as representative of a repeated multiplication. For example, 2 to the third power, 2 times 2 times 2. But I don't know if it ever occurred to the ancients to even think about what would it mean to have a number raised to a fraction power. Well, as algebra developed around 1,000 years ago, at some point someone must have thought a little more abstractly about this situation, wondered what would happen, what would it mean to have a fraction as an exponent. So, for example, what about 25 to the 1/2 power? And I'm going to show you that logically this has to be equal to 5. And let's take a look. Because 25 is 5 squared. And so if the power rule of exponents works, then that means when I remove these parentheses, I should multiply these exponents together. So by removing parentheses, I have 5 raised to the 2 times 1/2. 2 times 1/2 is 1. So 25 to the 1/2 power equals 5, which you probably recognize as the square root of 25. And matter of fact, we could say that 25 to the 1/2 really is the same as the square root of 25. Well, that little trick works every time you have a number raised to a 1/2 power. And so we find out that 1/2 power means square root. What about cube roots? Might it be the 1/3 power? It's the same issue there. For example, 8 to the 1/3 power, we can rewrite 8 as 2 to the 3rd power. And then by removing parentheses, we have 2 to 3 times 1/3. And again, the fraction disappears. 3 times 1/3 is 1, so I have 2 to the 1st power, which is 2. And that means the same thing as the cube root of 8. So, it appears that if our power rule of exponents is to be consistent in the use in algebra, then a number raised to a power, fraction power, if it's 1 over an integer, then it happens to be that root of the integer. So let me generalize that somewhat here. If we have a number x raised to the 1 over n, then we have an interpretation for this. This equals to the nth root of x. Now, in n we would assume to be a positive whole number. And so n is a positive whole number. And positive whole numbers are, that set of numbers are what we call the counting numbers, or the natural numbers. You know, beginning with 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The numbers we count with are the natural numbers, or the positive whole numbers. So 1 over a natural number means that root, in this case the nth root of x. Alright, so there's a start in interpreting fraction exponents, and we'll continue this into the next video.